You know, ever since we got the first leaks for Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2, the conversation of Fortnite recycling ideas has been popping up amongst people in the community. Even I threw my hat into the ring when it came to that conversation. Although I wanted to keep an open mind and see what the new season theme was going to be, I did think it was funny how we could potentially be returning to another spy-themed season. We've talked about this on multiple videos on this channel over the last few weeks. Now, when you look at Fortnite Chapter 6 as a whole, you have to recognize that there are a lot of recycled ideas here. From its release, everyone was comparing Fortnite Chapter 6's overall theme to Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 2 Mega. And for good reason. Mega was the first time that we actually leaned super hard into the Japanese-inspired vibes. And Fortnite Chapter 6 just seemed to give us that in overloaded quantities. The entire map was basically going to be that theme. And honestly, when you take BR out of the equation and start looking at some of the other modes that exist, like OG or Reload, it does seem like Fortnite is relying upon certain things that they know that works. Certain ideas that the community likes. In many ways, they're playing it safe, but why is this? And more importantly, is this necessarily a bad thing for Fortnite? There's two main reasons why Fortnite is recycling a lot of content, but both of them are caused by the same thing, which is fear. I want to get into both of those later on, but before we do, we need to answer the question, is Fortnite Chapter 6 out of ideas? Let me say this, if you've been playing Fortnite as long as I have, you start to realize that Fortnite seasons don't necessarily repeat themselves, but they do rhyme after a little while. We've already talked at length about how the heist or spy theme has been used multiple times in different ways. From LTMs to season themes to 2-week-long special events, this is a theme that Fortnite likes to play on heavily, and even for Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2, I have to admit, it is still hitting upon those same notes. The core gameplay loop is always the same. You gotta infiltrate some section of the map, steal some crap by opening up a vault, beat some guards to do it. It's the same basic process. However, the way in which it's executed over time has changed, and that's what keeps the idea fresh. Personally, I don't think it's always an issue if Fortnite is recycling concepts, but it's the way in which they're executed that makes all the difference. If you are giving me the exact same gameplay pattern that I've used before, it is going to become redundant. It is going to be stale. That was the entire issue that I had with OG when it came back out. I have already played this version of Fortnite, and Fortnite conceptually as a game is about constantly changing, innovating, and improving upon concepts that they've brought to us before. In many ways, Fortnite is kind of like my favorite fictional IP, Transformers. Like, there have been multiple iterations of Optimus Prime, right? But we don't get upset because we get a new version of Optimus Prime every couple of years. As a matter of fact, in the Transformers community, we kind of embrace it. Now, that doesn't mean we don't like to see a new leader take the role from time to time. Sometimes that could be Rodimus Prime, sometimes as Optimus Primal, sometimes as Sentinel Prime or Ultra Magnus, but regardless, the core idea of Transformers stays the same. There's a civil war between good guys and bad guys, and how they spin that concept over and over again is what keeps the fan base entertained. Fortnite is not doing anything that any other successful franchise doesn't already do. And I'm sure that if you're a fan of a bigger franchise, like for example Marvel or DC, you've seen them do this multiple times too. Once again, the issue isn't recycling the content, but it's all in how it's executed. And when I look at Fortnite Chapter 6, I think for the most part, it's been done pretty well. When I look at Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 1, the launch of this new chapter, I don't feel like this is a ripoff of Mega. In many ways, I feel like it's a continuation of the idea. It's fully fleshed out. We're allowing the Fortnite dev team to go completely all out with this idea of Japanese theming. We got a lot of new cool stuff like the Oni mask, the little sprite guys, but even with some of the new things that we got, they were recycled concepts like the boons. Those are just a reworked version of augments. Now look, as someone who loved the augment concept, and I wish the original version of that would come back, this is a suitable replacement for now. I think it reaches a nice middle ground by allowing players the option to choose specific power-ups if they want them. You don't have a notification popping up on the right-hand side of your screen all the time saying like, hey, press me, come on, activate your augment. One of the things that's interesting about Fortnite is the way in which they bring back concepts. Like for example, this current season, Lawless. Do we have to go back to different locations and open up vaults? Yes, but the way in which we do it is completely different. Gone are the days where we have to fight a boss, grab the key card, and then open up the vault. This new process is so much more involved, so much more risky, and I like it. I've heard that a lot of people say that opening up the vaults this season isn't worth it, but in my opinion, that's just not true. I don't think people understand the true utility of what those vaults hold. See, it's not just about opening up the vault to get really good weapons. It's more so about those crypto coins that they have inside. See, those little dill bits or whatever the hell they're called, called, those are insanely useful when you go to the black market shop and get some of the mythic items. These vaults allow you to participate in consistent high-risk, high-reward operations, which in turn gives the gameplay loop far more purpose. And what's something I talk about on the channel all the time, having purpose in everything that you do. Even when it comes to playing video games, I like it when there's a clear objective outside of just killing everybody. So look, at its core, Fortnite Chapter 6, whether it's Season 1 or Season 2, yes, they are recycling a lot of old ideas, even when it comes to bringing back old characters. But to be fair, this is what myself and a lot of other people have asked for. I like it when Fortnite relies on their own ideas. I like Midas not only returning to the storyline, but also being the secret skin for this season. I think it's dope that they're actually giving us a bonus skin that is a Fortnite original for once. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I believe if you look in the Battle Pass, there's actually more cosmetics than there normally are for the bonus skin for this season, and that's because it's not tied to a collab. Once again, I don't mind having collabs in the Battle Pass, but I think it's cool that they're not only giving us a bonus skin that is a Fortnite beloved original character, but also that they're giving us more in the Battle Pass than what we normally receive. I don't see how that's a downside, and I hope that they continue to do that for future Battle Passes. I think one thing that's been severely lagging from Fortnite for a while is it relying on some of its own original characters to tell stories and narratives and generate hype. These older characters do mean something, and yes, did they go back and hit the Midas button and recycle that idea too? Absolutely, but why should they not? Once again, do I get mad when we get a new version of Optimus Prime? Does he look cool? Does he have some kind of new power-up feature? Is he combining with a different character than he did in the previous series? If the answer to all those things are yes, why am I going to be upset that Optimus is coming back, but in a new, cool, different way? The same thing goes for Midas. The same thing goes for any intellectual IP that you are a fan of. But once again, most importantly, it comes down to the execution, because you're just bringing back a character for the sake of bringing them back, and there's no purpose or utility in it, then yeah, it does kind of fall flat on its head. Now, when it comes to a storytelling standpoint, I'm going to be completely honest with all you guys. I have no idea how Midas is tied into this current story. I have not been following the storyline for about a year now. I can honestly care less, but I do think that it's cool that he did come back in a different way, and they've given us additional cosmetics inside of the Battle Pass. For all the Midas fans out there, I think a lot of them are going to be happy, even though he stole Kato Thorne's haircut. I guess what I'm ultimately getting at here is that it's okay to recycle ideas, one, if they're executed well, but two, for the purpose of securing some of Fortnite's identity. This was something that was talked about a lot last year, that Fortnite's identity was constantly being stripped away. But the thing is, in order for you to keep some of your identity, you're going to have to recycle certain ideas or concepts. That was the frustration that we had last year. And to say that, Fortnite must be out of ideas because they just keep recycling all this old stuff kind of misses the point. You can't complain about not having a lot of the old stuff back and then get upset when they start bringing it in the game. However, to be fair, I do think there's a point where Fortnite can come across as pandering to the audience if too much old content is coming back. That's kind of how I felt when OG returned. Doesn't mean that it shouldn't be in the game, doesn't mean that it's not fun, but I like it when Fortnite, once again, is kind of moving towards the future. It's not that I don't want you to bring those old ideas back, but you gotta put some kind of new spin or twist on them. I also would like Fortnite to experiment with new concepts that they've never played with before. I know for a long time, a lot of us have wanted a Wild West themed season or an Egyptian themed season. Both of those sound like banger ideas to me, and I think Fortnite should play around with them a little bit more. Or, if they are going to experiment with something from the past, do a theme that was only done one time, like the Alien theme. I think that's one of the cool things about live service gaming. When you see that a dev team or a company has evolved over a certain amount of time, when their game has improved upon certain things, and you kind of wish that they would bring some of the old stuff back to see what their new take on it would be, with all the new mechanics and the new ideas that they have. There's a lot of potential for fun there, and I think that that's a good time to recycle content if it has not been overused. But I think with the content that Fortnite has been giving us recently, they've been playing it pretty safe. And to be fair, it might be for good reason. This is the concept that I was alluding to earlier in the video, this idea that Fortnite is afraid, but afraid of what? Like I said before, there are two main ways in which I see Epic Games is afraid. The first of which I can somewhat understand based upon what happened last year. I think the main reason why Fortnite is playing it safe right now, recycling old themes that they know work very well, is because of all the backlash that they got from Wrecked last year. Now, for full transparency, I was a fan of Wrecked. I enjoyed it. However, I do also understand how that concept would get a little stale after a while with things being OP or if they stayed OP. Then we had the balance changes, which made things not OP, and then nobody was happy. Once again, I think the idea for Wrecked was fantastic. However, the execution was not very well thought out. Last year, Epic Games had a huge problem with committing to ideas or season themes. Whether it was attachments not becoming more fleshed out, us getting newer and better attachments over the course of the entire chapter, or them messing around with bullet drop a little bit more to making it feel better, or them even kind of turning their back on season themes, not going as hard as they could have. It just kind of left this lackluster feeling with the execution. The player base was not happy, and it honestly seemed like every freaking week last year, there was something new for the community to complain about. The issue is, I'm not sure that Epic sees it this way. I have a feeling that they think the problem was the concept more so than the execution of the concept. I also think one of the biggest issues last year was them having bullet drop instead of hit scan. I know that the hit scan versus bullet drop debate is still somewhat of a hot topic in the community, but I honestly think that for this video game, with all the wacky ideas and movement abilities and stuff that Fortnite has, hit scan is just objectively the best model for this video game. I also think that cars and fists, the magneto gloves, whatever, would have been less of a problem last year if you had weapons that were hit scan based. Give me a hammer AR of any rarity or a gold scar in Wrecked, and I'm telling you, I am beaming people out of the sky. I don't care how good of a driver you think you are getting lit up with those weapons. Same thing goes with the Marvel season. Oh, you think you're cool because you got that cute little jetpack on? No, you're getting beamed, buddy. Bullet drop was just too difficult to manage inside of Fortnite when it came to more experimental forms of movement inside the game. And if you want to keep Fortnite wacky and fun with all the crazy movement items that they give us, hit scan is going to be a necessity. But listen, this is not a hit scan versus bullet drop video. What I'm trying to get at here is that I want Epic Games to continue to experiment with new and wacky ideas. It does not mean that the themes from Season 1 and Season 2 of Chapter 6 were bad, or I feel like they were too repetitive, but they are playing it safe. These are similar things that we've had, and although they are insanely fun, I also want to try something new. You can be upset as much as you want at Epic Games for Wrecked or the Marvel theme season, but what you really want them to do is to continue to experiment with metas and concepts, because that's what keeps the game fun and fresh. You do not want to get into a situation where they're just only going to recycle old ideas, and although the execution on those old ideas is going to be fun, it's also fun we get something that we've never had before. I legitimately think that a Wild West theme season has some of the most potential for a Fortnite season ever, or they could even go crazy and do cowboys versus aliens if they wanted to go that route. I know that that's a popular kind of genre that people play around with from time to time. Or hey, you know what? Take my other idea, which is dystopian future. Laser weapons everywhere. I want robots walking around. Just please, a Terminator themed kind of season where we have to literally go underground and have bases underground. And if, oh my, do it. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. These ideas are something different, but I still think that they're safe enough to where they wouldn't completely alienate the Fortnite player base. Now, there will always be people that are upset at Fortnite. There's always going to be something to be mad about concerning this game or to complain about. Even I've had my fair share of complaints about the game. For example, I don't like the current shotgun meta that much. I think there are better shotgun metas that could exist inside this game right now, but it's not enough to completely ruin the experience of Fortnite for me and to completely throw it away. I honestly think that my main issue is I just need to get better with the new weapons. I have not taken the time to actually practice and get good with the current shotguns. Ultimately, guys, I think we all just want to have the most fun possible with Fortnite. We all want to play the best version of this game, but ironically enough, I don't think any of us ever have. I know that that might sound crazy, but I do not think that any single iteration of Fortnite has ever been the perfect version. It exists, but Epic Games refuses to give it to us. If you remember earlier in the video, I said there were two things that I thought that Epic Games is afraid of. Well, the first one we just covered, which was backlash, but the second thing I feel is a bit more sinister because it prevents us from getting to play the perfect version of Fortnite. But what is that thing? To put it simply, and as crazy as this is gonna sound, I honestly think that Fortnite is afraid of fun. But what do I mean by that? Well, I'm gonna answer that for you guys in the next video. But until then, I love y'all. Make sure to use code Clark in the item shop, and I'll catch you soon. Peace out.